So I'm going to wrap it up and tell you one more story. I got to tell this. I love it. Pulls it all together. It's a story about a young girl who understood the power of positive words. Let me tell y'all something. There's no eraser on your tongue when you speak to people. You know that. How you talk to yourself is so important. But what you let into your mind is so important. This girl knew that. She was focused on her future. You talk about authentic. She was the real deal. And guess what? She was a farm girl. From the great state of Illinois. She wanted to be her hometown queen to be represented in the Miss Illinois pageant. She went to the organizational meeting, raised her hand. She said, now what do you do for talent? The man said, well, you do what you do best. She said, oh. She thought for a minute. She said, what if you have a problem? He said, well, we're required if you have a technical problem, you have to do it again. It's a rule. She said, no problem. Got it. Wrote down, I will be performing a classical musical rendition. Well, dress rehearsal, honey, she pulls up in a big old pickup truck with a cattle trailer hooked onto it. Pageant director ran out, kind of a nervous guy. He said, what's this? She said, my talent. He said, we thought you were going to play the piano. She said, no, I'm going to play this cow. She said, you know, you said do what you do best, and I'm the 4-H cow milking champion for the state of Illinois. I said, wait a minute. There's a rule, no live animals on stage. She said, oh, I read that rule book. There is nothing in there about that. But today, it's in great big bold print, and this is why. Well, she got that cow out of that trailer up on the stage with some hay. Honey, she had a funny-looking little bucket with dents all in it, and this great big galvanized bucket she put right behind her. Hands the sound man a CD, grabs her instruments. All of a sudden, the most beautiful sounds filled the auditorium. It was classical, it was musical, and it went like this. Da-na-na-na-na, squish, 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 squish. Da-na-na-na-na, squish, 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 squish. It was good. The guy ran up and said, wait a minute, what if this cow has a need? She said, that's what that big bucket's for. She said, but don't worry, I raised her, I know her, unless she's terribly startled. Remember that. Well, honey, pageant night, it was her turn. She walked out on stage in molded green 4-H sequin hog washers. She sat down, grabbed her instruments, nods to the sound man, da-na-na-na-na, squish, 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 squish. People were just, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing. Well, the local photographer said, what a great picture to put on the front page of the local newspaper. He got his supersonic Nikon flash up in the face of that cow, and boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, that cow quit chewing and let out a moo that rattled that auditorium. And then the tail started to wiggle. And we all know that's the international symbol for get the bucket. Well, she reached back to get that bucket, honey, it was gone. That pageant director pushed it way back. She jumped up to get the bucket. He jumped up. They ran at the same time at the same pace, ran into each other, over the main power source, unplugged it, and the whole place went dark. And that cow went nuts. It stampeded this way, and the audience stampeded that way. Well, guess what? They had to evacuate, mop, shovel, scrub, hose down. That girl was just fine. She's so confident in her talent. She walked up to that director who wanted to choke her, and she said, you said if we have a technical difficulty, we can do it again. He said, what kind of technical difficulty did you have? She said, you moved my bucket. And she did it again. To an empty auditorium with 5 judges in the back. That's the spirit of FFA.